Sorry, carry on.
Pizza just said to me a couple of weeks ago that I think I was being followed. Because the solicitor seems to know my whereabouts when nobody else does. Anyway, I'm driving along, I'm getting panicky, I'm driving too fast, I'm just thinking I need to get home, even though home is just my car, my drive. And then suddenly all my tyres blow out and my car careers into the side of the road. And they put a stinger out. So a car goes into the side of the road. A unmarked police car pulls up beside me.
Unmarked and hadn't told her to stop.
And bully boy jumps out. Black clad, bald headed. Comes to the car, virtually running. Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. He yanks open my door. I'm like, what's going on? I can't tell you explicitly what I said because it's a lot of it is a blur.
Too traumatic.
And so I can't get out. I'm disabled. Other guy gets on the other side and goes, yeah, we know you got motor neuron. And it's a very flippant like, yeah, we know you got a cold. Takes my keys and moves my crutches. Bully boy carries on going, get out of the car, get out of the car. I'm like, I can't. I'm now very frightened, and I'm going to confess by this time I'd actually wet myself. I was so fucking scared. My heart starts racing, I start not being able to breathe. Everything just gets worse and worse, I start to feel dizzy. Bully boy starts shouting, he then says, I'm going to pick you up and get you out. But I don't do that because my body is broken. You don't, please don't do that. So then he gets out the biggest, heaviest pair of handcuffs I've ever seen. And I am, bang, bang on my leg. I've got the bruises on my legs where the cufflinks hit. I carries on saying get out, but now it's even more difficult because I've got no means of balancing myself. And I said to him, I think you need to call paramedics, I'm not feeling well. When they arrive and stabilise me, then I'll get out. They can help me out professionally. Yeah, we'll do all that. And with that, he tells me to get out of the car again. And then just goes, well, I'm going to pull you out then. And he drags me out of the car. A 65-year-old woman with motor neuron. Even if I wasn't ill one day. Drags me out of the car, and my lasting memory of that is looking up at the faces of the 3-4 police officers watching, and she then look of shock and horror, thinking, what?
Did the police officers have any body cams on them at the time, Charlotte?
I didn't see any. The guys it was raining. They all had big raincoats on. I just had this t-shirt, rebellious hope, and a shirt. I couldn't see body cam. I would doubt that metered police officer had one, because would he have behaved like that and had one?
No, because he would have then known he was definitely in misconduct, and he definitely would have known that he would have got in trouble for the way that he handled that situation.
So I think they deliberately didn't have body cam. I don't know what the law is on that.
It's illegal to not have a body cam on an officer.
Oh, really?
It is now law. Every officer...
Well, I've asked the body cam footage and not got it yet.
Yes. So. You won't get it because if there was no body cam, there is no footage.
Anyway, drags me out, telling me to get up, which I can't do. Motor neuron sufferers, you will know. You can't get up.
No.
Especially when you've got no crutches. And then he says to a lady officer, can you come and help me with that? I've got her name.
Didn't even refer to her with her name.
They got me under my armpits and pretty much dragged me to the back of my car because by this time my legs have gone. My whole body is going into shutdown. Legs are gone. I can't walk. Anybody will tell you that I'm most stable on my crutches.
Now, if I was to go out in public and manhandle another human being in that manner, I'd be arrested for GBH. Why is it allowed for an officer to do that? With no camera on, and all the other officers standing there watching Charlotte in utter disgust at this officer's actions of manhandling Charlotte. This is GBH. She did not give permission for her to be handled like that. She'd already informed the officer that she was unable to move due to the fact of her illness. The fact that he'd removed the only source of her mobility, which is her crutches, in order to actually physically move. He'd cuffed her hands. She wasn't able to push herself up because her hands are tied together. In what eye of the law is that acceptable? How is that allowed? It's not. That is not acceptable.
Then they got me to the back of my car, said we're going to search you. And the lady officer said, have we got any weapons? And I was like, do I let her come carrying weapons? So they searched. And then I started to feel really unwell. And I dropped to the ground because I could just feel everything was swimming. But I'd still got to handcuff them. Handcuffed. I dropped to the ground. Meathead is saying, get up, Charlotte, get up. Don't make this any more difficult. But this time my voices were really gone. And I'm trying to say to him, I physically cannot get myself up. It's impossible. Eventually, and I think it was one of the other police officers, grasped what I was trying to say and sort of said something like, she can't get herself up, she needs help. They Meathead and the girl then pulled me back up. Meathead disappeared. I was walking off, and I said to him, what's going to happen to my car? I said, it's a Motability car. And he went, yeah, I know. And I'm going to phone them and tell them what a bad driver you are. The girl says, where are you going? They know where I was going. They've been told I was going to my home. Then a lovely older policeman turns up, looks at me and goes, are you alright, mate? I've been sobbing, and I'm like, no, I'm not alright. Then the police van turns up, and they open up, and there's the white cage in the back. The cheaper, hardened criminals in. And Meathead wants me to sit in this cage. So what do? They try and push me up into it. And the older guy goes, this isn't going to work. She can sit in the back with me. So we go to the back door of the van. He's very gentle. He says to me, how's best to do this? He said, do you need any help? Do you mind if I help you up?
That's how it should be.
Yeah. So I'm sitting next to him, and off we go. They say, John, anything you want? I went, yeah, bag and crutches. Bag arrived, no crutches. And then we go off to Newquay police station. Get to Newquay at 20 to 1, and I know that because there's a clock that says, please look the time that you came in. The lovely policeman said, because they won't keep you long because of your condition, they'll want this done quickly. How long you want? And the younger one notices that my wrists are raw, scratched. He says, I'm going to take those off, you can clean and go nowhere. Get booked in. allowed the one phone call. They found Andrew and Giuseppe, and by this time, it was 2 in the morning. So they find the shit out of Andrew and Giuseppe because they won't say what I'm in for, and you can't phone back
Nope.
to find out. And they wouldn't have been allowed in. So they spent all night worrying themselves sick because they didn't know how I was. I kept asking for medics, nothing. Pension, I'll take them to a cell eventually. Well, I spent 12 hours in a cell. I couldn't eat and drink because I was feeling very sick. And unless I have my nausea medication, I will vomit. And vomiting means choking, and choking means dying. And I asked if they could get my medication. No. So I couldn't even have water. I was too frightened because I thought if I throw up, it's game over.
And that's against human rights
Yeah.
to be denied your own medication
Yeah.
that is life-saving medication.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
Yeah. I could have been taken to Trinidad because they were worried about me being vulnerable. Why didn't they take me to Trinidad Hospital where I could have been monitored and then could have put a police guard on the door? I wouldn't have minded. But I would have been able to sleep. I would have got medication. I would have been able to eat.
And if you were flagged and stopped as a vulnerable missing person, why were the officers that way with you? Because if somebody is vulnerable and generally missing, that is not how you approach someone. You don't start going to the car screaming and shouting in their face,
I'm calling
physically pulling them out the car, throwing them on the floor. You don't do that. You don't do that to anyone, whether they're vulnerable or not, missing or not. You don't do it.
Yeah.
So how has this been allowed? How has he not been sanctioned for his actions? Oh yeah, because he had no body cam on.
So yeah, I spent my 12 hours. I stayed awake all night. I had the fingerprints, the mugshot and all. Kept asking, when am I going to be let out? And the nice, very young girl police officer, they're making a decision. How long does it take to make a decision? Eventually about midday,
The following day,
I told they're going to see you now. By the way, I'd also asked for my half an hour with the solicitor, which I never got. Went to be discharged in the Mornington, and the guy said, "You'll be let out, no charge."
no charge because they had no grounds to arrest you
I'm
on.
like,
They had no purpose. They had nothing to charge her for because she didn't do anything wrong.
So, I then started discussing this abusive policeman, and I didn't think they know him because their faces were just something about them face. And he said, "Why the handcuffs?" And he said, because they were worried she might run away.
Bear in mind, she wasn't actually able to stand on her own.
I'm like, do you know about making your own? Do you want me to show you? This made my friend Joey laugh because she's constantly taking the piss out of me. When we go out together, she's like, "Oh, hurry up." I mean, I cannot go a step without my crutches. But they thought I was going to run away into the next carriageway, which, by the way, they shut down so nobody could see what they were doing. And then I said, "Well, why disable all my towers?" "Well, I'm never gonna." "Well, no, it wasn't. I'm not. Why did you disable it? The other reason for the handcuff and getting out of the car was because you might have driven the car into a policeman at speed, front or right. Have you tried reversing a car with 4 flat tires at speed, forwards or back, and you'd also take a bike either way? So yeah, None of those excuses what? None. So I get let out. 2 guys from Barnstable have been sent to take me to my car, which is by now in Bodmin police station. My crutches were in Barnstable. So obviously these policemen were all from Barnstable, which is 2.5 hours away from my home. So they'd obviously been following me all that time before they decided to pull me over half an hour before my home. They take me to Bodmin, to the police station, and there's my car, absolutely buggered, no tyres, and they dump me. And say, if you're going to the police station, they might let you use the loo. No question to this so-called vulnerable person. Anybody pick you up? Are you okay? Can we do something? Can we help you get you? Nothing. Suddenly my vulnerable status, Mr. Ben Jones, had gone from being enough to stop me getting to my house to, well, we don't care about you anymore. Fortunately, this lady and Angela and Giuseppe, I had messaged them both. Angela and Giuseppe spoke to each other, Alfie,
It's a rabbit, but
and sorted everything out.
Alfie.
This beautiful, darling girl got on the RAC, got on to QuickFit, and got everything sorted. Spoke to Angela, told her. Angela arrived. I had just started to doze off to sleep. I was so tired, and I was aware of the car door opening. And suddenly this arms enveloped me like an angel. And I cried and cried and cried. And she said, Kira sorted everything. I've got your ham sandwich and a coffee. And we're going to take care of it. I'm not going to tell you what her husband Giuseppe said, because it is not fit for Facebook.
As you can imagine, it was probably pretty good.
It is absolutely disgusting. And with all of you, Max, Ben Jones, police, everybody.
You're all disgraceful.
So I went back to their house where they cared for me, loved me. They're phenomenal people. Kira's been on the phone every day. And then a couple of days later, we went to pick up my car from QuickFit. And I was just going in, and the guy said, wait a minute, sweetheart. Get back in that car. Reverse back to your car. I'll be with you. So we did that. He came running out with my keys, dropped them in my hand, and went, no charge. So of course I cried again. And he said, we just need you, because Kira had regaled the whole story. We just need to know, you to know, that there are good people out there. I won't tell you what he thinks about you. So I would suggest anybody from Stevens going, don't go to St. Austral QuickFit for your tyres. When he said, if you need me, I'm here. Phenomenal. So I spent a few more days there in Giuseppe because I didn't feel ready. And to leave the safety of their home. I'm very traumatized, very sore, very bruised, panic attacks, you name it. But eventually I knew I had to come back because I had to see my own GP, which was an unbelievably difficult journey.
Alfie.
Took me hours because I kept having panic.
Come here.
So I spoke to the girls on the way home, got back here.